Chapter 27, Wilderness. I think about the moments we stopped along the way, all that wasted time. What if we get to the pass and can't get over it, I say, unable to shake the image of a precipice from my mind. Sam takes my hands in his. We can do it. His voice is steady. Remember what you were just saying. I wouldn't lie to you. I know you can make it. Nerves stir in the pit of my stomach. The snow line creeps up, a vast whiteness that stretches endlessly in front of us. The snowdrifts fill the landscape with strange shapes. My boots make the snow crunch. Each time I pull my foot out, the slush gathers on my toes and an icy cold wetness steadily sinks through to my skin. The yaks have stopped. Eve scrapes at the snow with her front hooves, too cold to stand still. Nothing prepared me for this, the never-ending cold and the aching that goes with it. We have to make a fire tonight, I say, grabbing Eve's harness and stroking her nose. Or at least use the gas burner to cook something hot. What's on tonight's menu? Sam asks jokingly. Momos with chilli sauce, thentuk and soft fluffy tigmo bread, I reply. My mouth waters. Sampa pancakes, says Sam. And yak's cheese, I add. Lots and lots of cheese. Enough, says Sam, laughing and rubbing his sides. My stomach can't take it. We guide the yaks through the whiteness. Light reflects off everything. It stings my eyes, so I shade them with my hand. Tears stream down my face. The sun over the mountains casts angular shadows in every shade of grey. I can't see where we're going, I say. It's too bright, Sam agrees. I glance at the yaks. At least Eve's big lashes and shaggy long fringe protect her eyes from the merciless sun. Hang on, I say, rummaging in the bag for a knife. I kneel next to Eve and carefully cut a handful of hair from her long skirt under her belly. It's not even enough to notice the difference. Here, I hand half to Sam. This should help. I wrap the hair around my eyes to prevent snow blindness. Fastening it at the back of my head, I can still see through the strands. We look like superheroes, he grins. We walk in single file as my thoughts drift. The man is on fire, running down the street, flames blazing behind him. My skin prickles. The wall of noise floods back. Dogs bark. The crowd shouts and cries and shuffles. I press my palms against my ears to block it out. The man on fire screams as he runs. Freedom for Tibet! I replay everything that follows. The door crashing open, Mum's red skirt, Spaniel's sunken and shadowy eyes as he holds down Dad. But this time, I don't let the thoughts drown me. Instead, I take my fury and sadness and mull it over. I won't let you down, Mum and Dad. Chapter 28. Hide. We turn a corner away from the big peaks. I look around and spot something that sends my hope crumbling to the ground. Lined along the top of the mountain ridge, spaced at equal distances apart, is a row of snipers. Sam follows my line of sight. His body stiffens next to me. His breathing turns shallow. The snipers' guns point straight down the valley. I count 5 of them, watching and waiting for anyone who tries to cross the border. They'll pick us off one by one. A lammergeier soars on the mountain updraft, carrying a bone in its talons. It lets the bone drop and it plummets to the bottom of the valley, smashing on the rocks and echoing off the summits. The snipers follow the sound with their guns. They can't have seen us yet. In that moment, Dad's voice rushes back to me. Always judge the situation. I take a deep breath. If we don't disturb the stillness, we'll have a chance of escaping. Slowly, I whisper to Sam. I fasten my hands around Eve's reins and nudge her backwards. Bones is behind us. Every noise is amplified over the mountains. 2 steps back and we're out of sight. Sam checks for more snipers. It's clear, he says. The snow on the ground is scuffed where we retreated. On the ridge, the snipers remain stationary, as if they've been frozen into the snow. The sniper closest to us adjusts his position. Go, I say to Sam. I grab Eve's lead and plunge down the steep slope behind him. I slide across the snow. Thick mist masks the foot of the peak. I sink into the snow up to my hip. The coldness hits my core. I push my hands down to pull myself out, but they fall through the top layer, deep into the snow. I use my other leg as a lever. The snow closes around my thigh. I'm stuck. Sam has almost reached the mist ahead of me. Help! I call. He doesn't look back. I thrash my arms in the snow. Flakes fly into the air. Eve, I call softly, come here. She looks at me with her big brown eyes and hangs her head low with tiredness. That's it, I say, beckoning. Eve lumbers forward and nudges me. I snatch onto her lead. She stands firm as I heave myself upwards out of the snow. I wrap my arms around her neck and she grunts. Her body warms my shaking limbs. She lets me lean on her as we sprint down the slope. My teeth rattle from the cold. Tash! Sam shouts, scrambling back up the slope. What happened? Fell, I say, too breathless to speak. I thought you were right behind me. He helps me onwards, warming my hand in his. I'm sorry. I'd never forgive myself if something happened to you. As soon as we reach the mist, my legs collapse under me. I lie panting in the snow. Eve and Bones settle next to me while Sam stands guard. Why did no one warn us there would be snipers? Asks Sam. Like who? I ask. We don't know anyone who's done this before. I picture the ridge. I think if we continue straight, we can climb up the mountain opposite and go around them. The mist thickens and swirls around us. I listen for the sounds of soldiers. I imagine them stumbling across our tracks and following our footprints, guns raised. All we can do is sit and wait for night to hide us. Chapter 29, Leaflet. I wake to find the mist has lifted and stars dot the cloudy dark sky. My eyes adjust to the night quickly. I know the snipers are above us on the ridge. Their presence makes me shiver. This way, whispers Sam, pointing towards an overhang of snow. We'll be more sheltered under there. I stare at the ground. The muscles in my body are yelling at me to stop. The clouds thin and the moon casts dappled light behind them. I hold my breath. The wind whooshes and carries the clouds across the sky. "Come here, Bones," I whisper. "Eve." They don't move. If the snipers looked straight down, they'd see Eve's tail sticking out from the overhang. I press my cheek against her soft neck, wrap my arm around her head and coax her onwards. Bones lumbers after us. How many people have made it through the Sniper Valley? I picture Sam's dad waiting for Sam to come home. "Why didn't you tell your dad you were leaving?" I ask. He shrugs. He wouldn't have cared. We walk all night, hiding from the moon, until the sun rises and I can see we've travelled way past the ridge with the snipers. At least I think we have. Everything looks the same in the snow. "Here?" asks Sam. I nod, too exhausted to speak. We collapse on the ground. Sam passes me jerky. I chew and swallow before curling up in a ball next to Eve. My mind spins with ideas about the secret message and I can't sleep. After a while, I open my backpack and pull out the copy of The Snow Lion. Perhaps there will be a clue in there. For every lie Dad prints in his job, he tells a truth in the leaflet. I read the column under the news section. "The Chodens are the 8th family to be taken in for questioning since the beginning of August." I didn't realise it was so many people. Their crimes include conspiracy against the Chinese government by performing songs in the Tibetan language. They haven't been seen since. The importance of what Dad does hits me. If he didn't write this, then no one would know about it. The Chinese minister has scheduled a visit to the area, which will take place shortly. I remember Dad mentioning it excitedly a while back. I flick through The Snow Lion, looking for another clue, stopping under the section "Teachings from the Dalai Lama." Mum always used to read that part to me. The main purpose of the secret resistance is to preserve our culture, she'd say. If we don't teach it, then it will soon be forgotten. I smile at the memory, but there's nothing in the leaflet that brings me any closer to figuring out the secret message.